All right, in this Paint 3D tutorial, we are going to do an interactive winter scene. So here you see an example where I have made a photograph of me as if I was throwing something, and now I've drawn my setting, the snowball that I'm throwing, and a nice snowy scene. I've also drawn a warm, puffy coat and a scarf and hat on. So we're going to go over how to do that. So go ahead and open your Paint 3D, and you want to open a new project. And we'll go ahead and start by just painting in our background. And I highly recommend, rather than using the paint bucket, that you use a paintbrush or a combination of paintbrush and spray can and the different kinds of paintbrushes, just to get some interesting textures. So for instance, if I'm going to start with the paint can and just fill it in, I might come back with my oil or watercolor brush and then paint to get layers of color. Okay, because in art, we're telling a story with colors, with lines, with shapes, with textures. And so when we think about what we're adding in, it just gives it a little more interest. Okay. I could go ahead and make a snowbank. I can do it either 2D or 3D. I'm going to start by making just a 2D sort of snowbank. I'm going to play with this 5-point curve here, this line, bring that across. I'm going to change it a little bit. It's fun to make it your own shape. I'm going to change the color. I might change the thickness. So now it's a little bit thicker. I'm going to move it down. I can widen it yet by grabbing the buttons on the sides. Okay. If I come back to that, select, no, it's not going to let me reselect it. Okay, fine, be that way. I can come in with another line. And if I want to change the thickness of this line, or if I want to change whether it's glossy or matte, and then I'm going to adjust this one. And I'm going to drag it across so it doesn't feel quite. There we go. Let's do that. Okay. Now I think I'm going to come back to my brushes, and I'm going to spray paint some spray paint on top, because again, I'm trying to look for different ways to create different kinds of textures. Ooh, I really like that oil brush. I might want to change the thickness up so it gets some variety in there. Okay. All right. Feel good about that. I'm going to add in a few trees. Now I want to make them look like they're farther away, so I'm going to make them a light green, or at least I hope I've chosen a light green. Fill and line type here. So my green, now the fill. I can change the solid to none. A line can be solid and none. I can change the thickness of the line. Okay. Maybe I want to make the fill a little bit different. So if I change the weight, okay, I can come back and draw. Oops. 2D shapes. Come on, man. Work with me here. Okay, I can make it into a sticker. So, or a stamp. So I can do this and this. I could add some snowflakes. I could add some clouds. Okay. I'm going to start moving into the 3D shapes, and I'm going to come to this light green that I chose from before, and I'm going to use the cone shape to start to create some layers. So this is 3D. You saw how it wobbled. You can change the aspects of your shapes. I can copy and paste, and now I can create multiples. I'm going to come in and use multiple colors. So again, multiple colors are going to help tell my story. Now I'm noticing that this is overlapping behind my other tree. So I'm going to need to adjust that axis. Hey now. Come on, you. So to adjust that axis, I have to bring it forward. I can tilt it forward this way, but that's kind of awkward because then my tree's falling down. I can pull it forward on this Z axis, and that's going to bring it in front of. Okay, so now it's in front of. So think about how you're placing your objects in your background. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, ooh, polished metal. That sounds fun. Add another snowman to the scene. So I need the snowballs. Okay, now I can select by dragging, and I need to make sure that it covers all of the shape. So it completely goes around and frames it. I know that I've selected them all because this aqua line appears, and I can rotate. I can rotate this direction, and I can rotate this direction. I can also stretch all of them. And when I do that, I stretch on one axis. If I want to stretch it on another axis, sorry. I'm going to rotate that way. I'm going to try to bring it down a little. Okay. I can group these all together if I'm happy with how they're connected. And then I can go ahead and start adding some details. So I'm going to draw my details out here on the side, copy and paste. So Control V or Control C and Control V to make some eyes. I'm going to use the cone to make a carrot nose. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these. It's behind. So again, I'm going to come to this Z axis, grab that and bring the eye forward. Okay. Place on the face. I can always adjust it. I'm going to grab this eye and bring it over. Also behind, so adjust the axis. My cone, I can rotate and flip it. Right now, my cone is really, to me, going the wrong direction. I want it to be pointing out towards me. So I've just rotated it on this axis here, this x-axis. And then I'm going to slide it over, put it about where I think it goes. You can see that turquoise line. And then I'm going to pull forward. And I can bring it up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab some brown and use the 3D doodle here. I've got this sort of triangular prism shape tube, they call it. And I'm going to draw a stick for the arm. If I like it, I press that. So again, I can adjust, I can turn it. Okay. I'm going to draw a second one. and say okay. I can check my 3D view. Notice how my snowman is in front of the background canvas. The cones for the trees are in front of the background canvas, right? We're away from, they're not actually touching, making it 3D. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my sticker of me. So I'm going to come to click on the stickers. I'm going to go to the little file folder, add sticker. And I'm going to go to the camera roll because I took my picture earlier, and I'm going to scroll down and find that picture and open. And there it is. I want to move it, and I want to magic select. I'm going to crop. Next. Now it has it has made some decisions. I don't want those decisions. I want the hand. So I'm going to trace around the hand to get that back. I can say done at this point. Now my sticker still has background showing, so I can go back into Magic Select. Next, I can go to the remove. And take that off. Take that off. You want to make sure autofill background is not selected. It's cropping out my hand again, so I'm going to put that back in badly. Then I'm going to say done. Okay. So now bring that down. I want to be facing the other direction, so I'm going to come to this flip horizontal. I want to be bigger. Oh, I cut off my nose. Oops. Oh, well. All right. So now I've added my sticker, and I'm going to come to my 3D shapes, and I'm going to go ahead and use this doodle here to create a, whoops, escape will undo without making anything. And then I can start over, but I want the coat to be bigger than the body. Come around. Okay, so now I have a nice puffy winter coat. I can come back and I want to make a nice warm hat or maybe earmuffs or, so here's a hat to keep warm. I'm going to add in that scarf. I'm just going to draw right up against here. And because scarves are usually layered, I'm just going to like make some layers here so that it looks layery. Now you'll notice that it cut holes. So I'm not happy with that. I'm just going to click and I'm going to see what I can do here. Bring it forward. Nope, it's just a holy object. Delete, start over and do it again. Clearly, I don't want to do just holes. I'm going to use this tube. I'm going to use the shape of the tube being like that. And I'm going to, oh, I need to make the thickness thicker. Let's try 60. And let's delete it. And let's try again. That's a much better scarf-like shape to me. Okay, and I'm going to select that as okay. I can adjust it if I don't like exactly how it is. I can play with it a little bit, right? Rotate it around. It's almost like it's being blown around. I need a snowball to throw. And maybe I'm going to add in with these doodle shapes here some snowflakes. Ooh, that's really thick again. I forgot to make it thinner. Let's go to 10 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Actually have to select it. 6. Okay. I can group these all together, and then I can rotate my snowflake. I can group it. I can copy and paste, rotate it in different directions so that it looks different than the other one. Okay, check my 3D view. Notice how they're all off. Notice how my clothing is not attached to me. So I want to go back and I'm going to select all of these items and on that y-axis, and I'm going to bring it back so that it just starts to touch. I don't want it to go behind the canvas. And then I can check my 3D. That's a lot closer. If I wanted, I could rotate and make it thicker. I can change the size, right? Right now, I've made the coat disappear, so I might not want to rotate it quite the way I did. I want to check to make sure that it's still, put it back onto the body so it's covering it. Okay, so just sort of keep playing and adjusting until you have it the way that you want it to be. Now, if I do this and I make everything thicker, wider, right? And then I come back to my z-axis, I'll have something to put behind. So keep pushing it until you're covering up your bodies. Oh, hey, that snowball is flying. The snowman is flying. I feel like I need one more snowflake. I'm going to go out of the 3D view. I am going to go to menu, save as. I'm going to save it first as a Paint 3D interactive snowball 2. Oops. Snow with a W. Save in Paint 3D. And it's going to take a moment because it's a large file. And I kind of have to wonder, am I throwing that snowball at the snowman? And somehow at some point I rotated my tree a little crazy like. Let's put that down. Oops. Yeah. I kind of want my tree to be backwards a little bit behind the snowball. All right. And then I'm going to go back to save as, and I'm going to go to video. And when I can do some different ways to show it, I can wobble. I can emerge. So you can see it shows. I can hover, jump and turn, swing. I really like turntable a lot. Not quite sure why I like that one so much. But that's kind of fun. So I'm going to go to save and gave it the same title. But it's an MP4 file this time. And save. And again, it's going to take a moment. And then it will be in a shareable format. So have fun creating your 3D winter scene where you interact with the snow. Maybe you're going to have a friend pose as well, and you're going to have a snowball fight and throw snowballs at each other. Or maybe you're going to build an igloo, or maybe you're going to be building the snowman. I don't know. Maybe you're going to go cross country skiing. That could be fun. Think about, or sledding. Ooh, how would you take that selfie of sledding and get that in there and get a really good sledding or skiing hill? So I look forward to seeing your project soon.